Will, Trish, attracting providers to our region has always been a struggle, but here at Jackson County Health and Human Services, the county is working hard to transition patients. Trish, it was business as usual here at Hedrick, but as students walked through the doors, a report of violence led police to investigate. As of right now, the Facebook video has been seen over 180,000 times. Trish, today I spent the day talking to the local homeless community and Medford Parks and Recreation about the constant trash here at Albert Park. And folks in Ashland may need to stay away from downtown if they intend to. Light up. One restaurant is taking advantage of the late night food business in Ashland. Reporter John Reinhart has the story. 300 students and over 40 businesses came out to see how these careers can change their lives. Trish, I'm in Phoenix at a trailer park right next to My Circle K. Next year, the SOU student newspaper, the Siskiyou, will change from a class to a student-run club. Can we get every producer in the building to come to the stage and wave to that camera? We thank you for tuning in and have a wonderful day. Woo!
See you here, Southern Oregon. Come on down. Come on.
Yeah, you're scanning all the time. You just can't help it.
That's Victor Rooney. He's the man behind the Oregon Department of Forestry's Last Lookout Tower. It's a job that's been fading away as technology advances. He staffs the tower that sits on top of a mountain all day and night looking for forest fires. Through a little bit of map reading and math, he can tell fire crews where fires are starting as early as possible.
See a smoke and I have to report it.
For Rooney, it's a fun job. As a man who's been around the forest for most of his life, he says he's been dreaming of doing something like this since he was a kid.
Ever since I was a little kid, I remember asking my parents, I wonder if anybody has ever stood on top of that mountain.
With cameras becoming more and more advanced and affordable, forest departments throughout the country have reduced the reliance on fire lookouts. Rooney says he's proud to be one of the last.
Well, it's kind of sad, but it's just progress. You know, it's just the way it is, and that's technology. It's kind of the end of an era. I hope it'll last a few more years, but I feel very good that at least I was part of it.
After a long day of work, he can still say he loves his job every day.
I love the view. I like the people I work with, and I feel like I'm doing something positive.
With your connection to the forest, Alexander Mesadieu, News 10. A former Marine is walking from Canada to Mexico in order to raise money for wounded warriors throughout the U.S. Today, he stopped in Mount Ashland.
Here near Ashland, Oregon, I'm at 917 miles, I believe.
The hiker, Tim Toomey, calls his project Operation Awakening 2. He hopes to raise $100,000 through his walk. 100% of the proceeds will go to the Injured Marine Semper Fi Fund at Camp Pendleton, California.
I do it for my brother and sister, but I really do it for the family. So while he or she is healing up in the hospitals and their rehabilitation program, that these families have a resource that they can lean on to help them with bills, to help them with their life, to help them with the transition.
On his journey, he has received help from different Marine Corps League chapters throughout the way. The Old Guard Riders, a local Marine Corps League chapter, presented him with $1,000 for his project.
There's something about being a Marine that we as brothers, we take care of our own. And I think that's what we're seeing here, is that one Marine's effort to try to raise awareness and funding for those coming home has garnered this massive support and output of other Marines and sailors coming out to greet me. So the support has been absolutely phenomenal.
So far, he's raised $40,000. At the end of the journey, he hopes to personally hand deliver all the money that he raises.
To me, I've got 2,600 miles to show, but to them, it's a few more dollars in their pockets. It's the ability to pay bills, to live comfortably, to make the transition from the combat environment to the peacetime world. And if I can be just a tiny piece of it, it's the greatest thing I can give myself next to completing the hike.
Travel cannot gain lodging in the motels of the highways and the hotels of the city.
An overflowed crowd packed the Ashland Armory yesterday for the annual Martin Luther King Jr. Day celebration. Poets, dancers, and songwriters all paid tribute throughout the day to the life of Martin Luther King Jr. and the struggle he represented.
The celebration here is a lot closer to King's dream or his vision than you see in larger metropolitan cities.
After the celebration in the Ashland Armory, a crowd gathered in the Ashland Plaza to hear the full "I Have a Dream" speech echo across the walls of downtown Ashland. A portion of those who gathered in the plaza marched through the streets holding signs and saying, "No justice, no peace." After the "I Have a Dream" speech ended, some chanted, "Black Lives Matter."
I think he would have been in support of a lot of what was going on. I think in the sense of, King was in support of even the Black Panther movement at the time.
After looking back at 2015, a year where groups like Black Lives Matter held protests all around the country, one has to ask, nowadays, are we living the dream of Martin Luther King Jr.? For many, the answer is a tough one.
I don't think we're there yet. I don't think there was really I don't know if you really say there's a definitive time or place that he had to say, here, the dream's over, because at any point in time, when you get to one point, well, then you want to improve. You want to keep going. You don't really want to stop.
This was the 27th annual Martin Luther King Jr. Day celebration. If Martin Luther King Jr. were alive today, he would be 87 years old. Reporting from Ashland, this is Alexander Mesadieu. Back to you.
Klamath County Fair is starting tomorrow.
And a classic fair favorite, 4-H and FFA shows will happen over the week. News 10 photographer Alexander Mesadieu spoke to a few students who are happy to show the community their work.
My pig's name is Gypsy. This is Gypsy, and this is Platinum over here. This is my main market hog who I'll be selling this year and showing. I have been in fair since I was in 4th grade, which is when you can start doing it, about 9 years old. And I've been showing pigs for about 4 years. I started out showing lambs, but now I'm here showing pigs at the fair. I'd say the Klamath County Fair benefits all these kids here. We're teaching kids a lot of different leadership qualities, responsibility, stuff like that. And also kids get to come in here and show what they've got, show what they've worked hard for all summer, and they get a paycheck at the end of the summer for it, so it really just all pays out.
We've grown up on farms or ranches, and we do it because we like it, and it's a good experience to be involved in. It means a lot. It's definitely helped me grow as a person, and it's taught me a lot of things, and it's really helped me grow up a lot. So, I mean, I'm glad it's my last year, but it definitely has taught me a bunch.
Kids here are very hardworking kids. They've put their whole summers, and some kids even who show steers and whatnot, put their whole entire years into it. And they work really hard. They learn responsibility and leadership skills. These FFA and 4-H kids are the future of agriculture for Klamath County. And they're just great leaders and great kids in Klamath County, and I think that a lot of kids could look up to them in some sort of way, and that there's a lot of proud parents out here and people that should really be happy that we've got kids like this out here doing stuff like this.
They work really hard
Yes.
during Fair Week. Good luck to you guys this week.
And today was Juneteenth, a holiday that celebrates the emancipation of slavery in the United States. Oregon Shakespeare Festival held a special performance to celebrate the day. News 10's photographer Alex Mesadieu lets the words of those who were there speak for themselves.
Juneteenth is a nationally celebrated commemoration of the end of slavery, and today here at OSF we are celebrating Black Joy. This year's theme is For Us, By Us.
When we say for us, by us, we don't mean us as in only people who are brown. We mean the us that is the community, our allies, our family. That is what we mean, for us, by us. So if you're a person that says, I believe in the progress of people, I believe in the acceptance of people with good hearts and good intentions, that's my us. That's what I mean by for us, by us.
I think the Juneteenth celebration is an important and relevant celebration of the end of slavery, but we still have a long way to go. And Juneteenth is a reminder that there is still work to do, because a lot of things have happened over the past year and beyond that to our brothers and our sisters. And so while we're free, there's still work to do, and we need reminders like Juneteenth.
I think it's most important being, like I was saying, being a part of this kind of tumultuous political climate, that we're as inclusive as possible and that we're letting people know that none of us get forward if someone's being held back.
The wonderful thing about theater is that it brings people together who otherwise would not have the opportunity to engage with one another. And so by seeing the show together and then sitting and having a meal with one another, for people who don't look like you or maybe people who do, and discussing our current climate, discussing the show, and remembering that intrinsically we're more alike than we are different. So it's important to have that conversation. This is a show, but it's more about community building.